So the itch.io website is a storefront, a bit like Epic storefront or Steam, that sells lots, hundreds and thousands of games. What's special about itch.io that it sells and focuses on indie games, low price and various different styles and things that are a little bit more unique and that wouldn't quite be mainstream. So what I thought I'd do, from a couple of charity bundles because there's been so many charity bundles, everything from Aid for Palestine to Black Lives Matter, and we've bought quite a few of these bundles. I thought I was going to show off some of these games and ones I'd recommend you play. So I've chosen 5 games. There's so many more, and there'll be loads more videos a bit about itch.io games. I just think they're so great, so I just want to show off a few of the main ones I like, and then hopefully we'll make some more videos and show off some more that I'd highly recommend. Let's check them out. First up is Anarcute. Anarcute looks like a Pikmin style game. So you gather up all your animal friends, they're obviously rebelling, they want to try and free the other animal friends from this evil regime. So a bit like you're controlling this animal rebel group, you go through, you can like take down like armored guards, even take down buildings. So you want to try and gather as many of these animal friends you can. They kind of all move together. But it's a bit like Pikmin, so you get more of them, you're more powerful, you can do the attacks. I like the look, it has a cutesy style, but quite like a more darker story about like having friends captured and taking down evil regimes. So I'm interested to see where it goes because I haven't quite finished it yet, but from what I've played, it's really easy to pick up. It's got controller support as well, which makes life a little bit easier with controlling them. It has a great art style, it just has a good vibe to it, and if you're looking for something like Pikmin but you want something else, this is a great thing because I feel like Pikmin's so unique that you don't get too many other games similar. So I'm a big fan of Pikmin 3 in particular, so as soon as I saw this I was like, wow, cute animals rebelling and a Pikmin style gameplay, I was sold. So I definitely recommend checking this one out. Next up is Cat Lateral Damage. You get it? Because it's about a cat that does lots of damage. So you basically play a first person cat house destroying game. It's a house destroying game. You play as a cat, you're given objectives like destroy so many dishes or so many plates. You go around, you can swipe your paws like this, you can jump, you can get new abilities like I can jump higher. And it's good fun. It's basically just like here's a couple of rooms in each level, got 10 minutes or so, got a couple of objectives to destroy. You just go around, you're like smacking things off and that, and it's really good. It's interesting being the cat and that, and it's kind of like a cross between like I've got to cause as much destruction, but I also got to figure out like what's my best way to get to that shelf and that, and like learning like, oh, if I make sure I upgrade the jump ability and that, at some point I can jump to that top shelf and I'll have to come back to that room. So it's good chaotic fun. I think this is more of like I'm going to pick up, play a few rounds, have a bit of a laugh and destroy some items. I believe there is a VR version of this available as well, but on itch.io it's just the standard version that I've been playing. But yeah, and you can unlock different cats, and there's photos of real cats. So if you love cats, this is obviously for you. But I think it's great fun as well, so it's a blast. So there's not much else to say. It's a game where you play a cat, where you destroy houses and all the stuff in the house. So yeah. It's pretty varied with the different types of cats and the different rooms and house environments. So yeah, on to our next game. Next up is Cosmic Express. Now anyone who's been following stuff on the channel and my presence on social media will know that I love trains. There's something good about a game that's got a train level, and as soon as a game gets a train level I'm like, yep, this game's amazing. So this is a puzzle style game with trains. Now we've seen quite a few of these type of games over the years, but this is interesting. It's got a space theme. So you've got these little domes, and basically you've got a little cosmic train, Cosmic Express train, and there'll be like maybe a couple of aliens and a couple of train stops. Now the train can only pick up one alien at a time, so you have to design the track to pick up that alien, make sure it gets dropped off at the right station before you can pick up the next alien, which seems simple on the first few puzzles, and then later on you're like, oh wait a minute, I can't pick up these two aliens and then drop them off. So you've got to design the track to get the one alien, go to its station and find the other alien, and after a while you're like, and then it's one of those puzzle games where you get on a tricky puzzle, and then when you do it, it clicks. It's so satisfying. You're just like, wow. And it just has a nice vibe, a low vibe, space vibe. Nothing too stressful. You can just sit and relax, no time limits, anything. So it's really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the puzzles go and how much more complicated they get. So yeah, it's really interesting, something different. So that one's worth checking out. On to our next game. Well, I told you I love trains, and here's another one, Mini Metro. Now this is a bit different. It's like very low vibed, very simple looking graphics. You're looking down, it's like a metro or subway train map, and basically you start off with one train and you might have like different lines. Now anyone who knows train systems knows that in the metro or underground or the subway, you got different lines. Like here's the red line, and this is the particular train that goes on this line and goes to these stations. So what you have to do, you get a couple of shapes, like here's a square person or a triangle person, and now when you pick them up, they want to be dropped off at a certain station. Now you don't have to worry about where you drop them off because they'll jump off automatically at the right shape, but you've got to carefully design the different lines to make sure like Mr. Circle can go to the circle station, or Miss Triangle can go to the triangle thing, or Mix Hexagon, I forgot the other shapes now. There's so many shapes, but basically just designing the lines to make sure all your people can get to where they go. Starts off simple, and then by the time you got more characters, and every time you level up a little bit, it's like, do you want an extra carriage or an extra line? And you've got these puzzle decisions to make, like, oh, an extra line would be beneficial, but an extra carriage means I can pick up more people. Now what happens if your station gets too many people waiting? A little timer clock, a little circle starts appearing, and if that fills up, it goes, oh, sorry, too many passengers were waiting, we've had to close down the metro. So you're like, oh, next time I'll do it. And there's different locations in the world. Sure, it's got the same plain white thing, but you get things like rivers in, and you've got like, well, I've got to build a tunnel through this river, and like they only give you so many tunnels, so you've got to be careful, like, oh, which line do I want to cross the river? So you've got to carefully manage like where your passengers are going. So really simple to start with and enjoy. And it's kind of just like if you can beat your score. So I would play it in the mind of not stressing about it and just go, oh, I'll just see if I can beat the score. And there's different locations to try. Like I said, just it's really chilled. Like it does build up, we're like, oh, I better sort this things out, but it just builds up nice and gradually. And I found myself like, as soon as I finished one match, I was like, oh, I'm jumping back in, I'm gonna give it another try. And I think I played like 3 in a row that way, and I was just like, before I realized the time, how much time had gone. So yeah, this one I think you can get addictive, and you'll also be glad to hear they're making one based off motorways coming out very soon as well, so I'll keep an eye on that. So yes, definitely check out Mini Metro. On to our last game. Next up is a puzzle action game, Wave Crash. So you control a character and you have to build up as many like color blocks near each other. Now you can select a block and swap it with a different color, swap a blue one for a yellow one, swap them around till you got enough, and then you send them to the opponent's side. Now what happens on the opponent's side is that they build up in a bigger pile. Also there's a tug of war line in the middle, and more stuff you send over, the line gets closer to them till they run out of room and you've taken over the whole territory. But you've got to find that right balance between how many blocks you're sending across and how quickly you send them across. So it's a good local multiplayer competitive game, but also you can do it wave based. So you really want to think about how many blocks you're sending. It's got a cool pixel art style. I like the backgrounds and music. This one's a good game to play by yourself or with a friend. So yeah, it's a nice action puzzly game. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. So there you go, that's 5 itch.io games I'd recommend. If you've got any itch.io games you would recommend, let us know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you to our patrons, and remember to stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.